The Cowboys have not won a Super Bowl since 1996, at nearly 30 years since their last championship. Everyone is wondering what is holding them back. They have had several rosters that should have been capable of competing for a championship, but managed to fall short every year. As the most popular team in the NFL, it's obvious that actually competing for a title would be great for the league, but why is it that the Cowboys haven't been truly competitive for nearly 20 years? Today on FootballLore, we investigate why the Cowboys have so much trouble staying competitive in the modern NFL. The Cowboys have been the definition of regular season warriors for the past few decades. They regularly can make the playoffs just to be blown out in the divisional round. For the last 3 seasons, they have ended 12-5 just to end up being blown out of the playoffs rather quickly. The Cowboys are always a mystery because on paper, they should always be theoretical favorites in the playoffs. With Dak Prescott and Micah Parsons on the team, in theory, they should be able to almost get to the Super Bowl every season, yet they stand with a curse across generations for them to not win a championship. I think the biggest thing holding the Cowboys back is none other than their owner, Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones, the larger-than-life owner of the Dallas Cowboys, is as much a part of the team's identity as the star on their helmet. Since buying the franchise in 1989, Jones has turned the Cowboys into one of the most valuable sports teams in the world. But for all his success as a businessman, his hands-on approach to running the team might be the very thing holding them back. Jones has always prided himself on being deeply involved in every aspect of the organization, from the roster to the coaching staff, but that involvement has often turned into micromanagement. His refusal to relinquish control and let the football minds take the reins is part of why the Cowboys have become perennial playoff disappointments. Look, Jerry Jones knows football, he played it, and he's been around it his whole life, but knowing football doesn't always translate into making the best decisions for a modern NFL team. Jones, who insists on being both the owner and general manager, has consistently made moves that prioritize flash over substance. The Cowboys often have big names and big contracts, but those aren't always the keys to success in the NFL. Coaches come and go, but Jones remains the common denominator, making critical decisions that can feel more like PR stunts than championship strategies. It's almost like he's more concerned with keeping the Cowboys in the headlines than putting them in the Super Bowl. One of the biggest issues is his loyalty, particularly to underperforming coaches. Jason Garrett is the perfect example. Garrett spent nearly a decade at the helm, despite never taking the Cowboys past the divisional round. Any other team would have moved on after a few years of mediocrity, but Jones held on to him for far too long. Why? Because Jerry values loyalty and control more than adaptability and results. Even with current coach Mike McCarthy, the team has shown flashes of brilliance, but often falls short in big moments. Yet Jones seems content with staying the course, refusing to make the bold coaching change that could be the key to unlocking the team's potential. At the end of the day, the Cowboys need a fresh approach, one that allows football experts to make football decisions without Jerry Jones looking over their shoulders. Until Jones can take a step back and trust his staff to build a winning culture, the Cowboys will likely remain stuck in this cycle of regular season glory and playoff despair. The talent is there. Dak Prescott, Micah Parsons, and others are franchise cornerstones, but they need an organization built for success, not just showmanship. For all of Jerry Jones's passion, he may need to do the hardest thing of all for someone like him: let go. Being a member of the Dallas Cowboys isn't just about playing football. It's about joining one of the most iconic brands in all of sports. That star on the helmet brings instant recognition, millions of fans, and a spotlight that few franchises can rival. But there's a downside to all that attention. It breeds complacency. When you're part of America's team, it can feel like you've already made it, even if you haven't won anything. For some players, the allure of being a Cowboy, complete with national exposure, endorsement deals, and celebrity status, takes the edge off the hunger to win at all costs. After all, when you're constantly in the headlines, it's easy to forget that success in Dallas is measured by Super Bowl rings, not jersey sales. It's not just the players either. The entire organization seems to bask in the glow of their own brand, creating an environment where mediocrity can feel like success. They've mastered the art of staying relevant regardless of on-field performance. Thanks in large part to Jerry Jones's marketing genius. Win or lose, the Cowboys are always talked about, and that constant stream of attention can mask the reality. They haven't been to a Super Bowl in nearly 3 decades. For some teams, a season without a playoff run is a failure. For the Cowboys, just making the playoffs and dominating the headlines seems to be enough to keep the machine rolling. That lack of accountability trickles down from the top and can rob the team of the urgency needed to push for greatness. This complacency also shows up in the way players are treated in Dallas. Being on the Cowboys means instant stardom, and with that comes the perks, big contracts, endorsement deals, and an overwhelming fan base. But when players are treated like superstars before they've earned it on the field, the motivation to grind through the tough times can fade. Why push for that extra yard, that crucial play, when your legacy as a Cowboy is already cemented in the eyes of millions? There's a reason why we see flashes of brilliance followed by inexplicable underperformance. The comfort of being a Cowboy can create a mindset where just showing up in that jersey feels like enough. At the end of the day, the Cowboys' biggest challenge might not be the talent on the field or the coaches on the sideline, it's the culture. The Cowboys are bigger than football in a lot of ways, and that's part of the problem. When the spotlight is always on and the rewards come before the results, it becomes harder to maintain the relentless drive required to win championships. Until the Cowboys can shift their focus from being popular to being dominant, that complacency will continue to haunt them no matter how many Pro Bowlers they sign or how many primetime games they play. Jerry Jones's inability to pick a winning quarterback has been one of the most glaring issues during his long tenure as the Cowboys owner. While he has no problem finding marketable stars, he struggles to lock down the kind of quarterback who can lead the team to a Super Bowl victory. Look at the history. After Troy Aikman's retirement, the Cowboys went through a revolving door of quarterbacks, from Tony Romo to Dak Prescott. While both Romo and Prescott have undeniable talent, neither has been able to get the team over the playoff hump. Jones has consistently stuck with good quarterbacks when what the team really needed was a great one, someone capable of making the clutch plays in the biggest moments, something Romo's infamous playoff stumbles and Prescott's inconsistent postseason performances have proven. Part of the issue is Jones's emotional attachment to his players, which clouds his judgment. He's notorious for holding on to quarterbacks longer than he should, refusing to acknowledge when they've reached their ceiling. Romo had nearly a decade of chances, leading the Cowboys to promising regular seasons, but always faltering when it mattered most. The same pattern seems to be repeating with Prescott. Rather than making the tough decision to move on and seek out an elite QB, Jones has doubled down on loyalty and optimism. His inability to recognize that the team needs a true franchise quarterback, not just a flashy name or marketable star, has kept the Cowboys in a perpetual cycle of close, but not close enough. Until Jerry Jones can make that call, the Cowboys' quarterback problem is likely to continue. The Dallas Cowboys have a unique luxury in the NFL. They don't need to win to stay relevant. No other team in the league can match their overwhelming popularity. America's team has built a brand that transcends their on-field performance, making them a cultural powerhouse whether they're Super Bowl contenders or not. While most franchises live and die by their win-loss record, the Cowboys continue to dominate headlines, rake in revenue, and attract fans from all over the world, even during lackluster seasons. Their stadium is always packed, their merchandise flies off the shelves, and they're constantly in the conversation, regardless of whether they've had playoff success. This cushion of popularity creates a strange dynamic where winning is important, but not essential. Unlike other teams that have to claw for relevance through victories, the Cowboys remain in the spotlight by sheer force of their brand. Jerry Jones understands this better than anyone. As long as the Cowboys are marketable, captivating fans, and media attention, they don't necessarily have to win championships to be profitable. In fact, the team's global fan base has made it easier to focus on the glitz and glamour of the franchise, rather than prioritizing the building blocks necessary to bring home a Super Bowl. They exist in a unique space where winning big is a bonus, but not a requirement for the Cowboys to maintain their spot as one of the most valuable franchises in all of sports. As long as the Dallas Cowboys remain a financial juggernaut, Jerry Jones has little incentive to make any drastic changes to the way he runs the team. The Cowboys are consistently ranked as one of the most valuable sports franchises in the world, pulling in massive revenue streams from merchandise, ticket sales, and endorsement deals, regardless of their playoff success or lack thereof. Jones knows that financially, the Cowboys are untouchable. No matter how disappointing their postseason performances may be, the money keeps rolling in. With packed stadiums, lucrative TV deals, and a diehard fan base, there's no financial pressure on Jones to reevaluate his approach or overhaul the roster and coaching staff to create a true championship contender. This lack of financial consequence has kept the Cowboys stuck in a cycle of mediocrity. Cowboys fans have been living in a state of disappointment since 1995, the last time their beloved team hoisted the Lombardi Trophy. It's been nearly 3 decades of high hopes, followed by crushing letdowns. Every season seems to start with optimism, talented rosters, flashy new additions, and the belief that this could be the year. But by the time the playoffs roll around, reality hits hard. The Cowboys either miss the postseason entirely or more often bow out early, leaving fans frustrated and wondering how a team with so much talent can keep falling short. But that is just a quick analysis on why the Cowboys can't get it together. If you enjoyed the video, I would appreciate you pressing the like button and letting us know in the comment section what you think of the video. We are trying to hit 10,000 subscribers this year and would love your support because we post 3 videos like this a week. Thank you all for watching.